Well, today we are making natural leavened bread from my starter, and all this is water and flour left for just about 14 days out to kind of ferment. It's kind of a sourdough starter, but when I make my bread, it doesn't taste sour, and this is the most loveliest bread for having toast. So I'm just going to show you how easy it is to make fresh bread from this delicious natural leavening starter. So I won't get in on how to make the starter just yet. It's really simple. It does take about 2 weeks, but what I do is I daily feed this. So I'm going to use 2 cups of starter for my bread recipe, and I'll get 2 loaves of bread. So basically every day I have to feed this flour and water. And the flour that I use to feed my starter is very different from the flour I use to make my bread. I like to use hard stone ground flour to feed the starter just to give it all the nutrients and that it could possibly get to help it to grow and to create a natural yeast or natural leavening. But when I make my bread, I do find that the stone ground hard flour is really tough and it makes a really almost like a hard brick loaf. So I don't tend to use that. So I have 2 separate whole wheat flours that I use, one to feed specifically the starter and one specifically for my bread making. First, we need 2 cups of starter. Then we need 2 cups of water. One-quarter cup of any sweetener. Just under 1/4 cup of oil. I like to mix it first and then add my flour. Then we need 3 cups of all-purpose white flour, then 2 cups of whole wheat flour. Now you can change these up and add 3 cups of whole wheat, 2 cups of white, or all whole wheat. That's completely up to you. I just like a softer bread, so I do a little bit more of white than whole wheat. Then we need 1 teaspoon of salt, and we're going to mix. Now we're going to add another cup of flour, and this is your choice if you want to add white or whole wheat or do half and half. That's completely up to you. I like to add my flour slowly so I don't make such a mess. You want to continue kneading the bread as much as possible. This makes it airy and light. Now I like to test the dough with my hands to see if it's sticky. As you can see here, it still needs more flour. I'm going to add a little bit more of whole wheat flour. I'm checking it again to see if it needs more flour. Still too sticky. I'm going to check it once more, and it's just perfect. Now we want to oil our bowls before we set our dough in to let it rise. I like to form it into a ball before I let it rise. I like to cover my bowls with plastic wrap, or you can use a towel. That's completely up to you. Now as you're letting your dough rise, it needs to rise for 5 hours in a warm place. Because my kitchen is cool, I chose to put it in the living room near my wood stove. During this time is a great time to oil your pans. The dough has risen for about 5 hours, and we're going to prepare it to be placed into our pans. Now we're just going to divide it into 2 loaves. I like to form it into the shape of a loaf and make sure all the air bubbles are out. Now we want to cover these 2 loaves once more, as they need to rise for 1 more hour. Now it is time to bake. We want to preheat our oven to 400 degrees. And we want to have this on for 10 minutes. After that 10 minutes, we want to move our temperature down to 360 and put it on for 40 minutes. The bread is done and looks delicious and smells wonderful. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you'll give this recipe a try. And we have another great recipe coming up for bread, cinnamon raisin bread, and it is divine. So don't forget to hit that sub button.